What's going on, everybody? All right, I don't submit cards to grading all that often. If it's an expensive card, then I usually get one already graded. If it's an inexpensive card, it's like, why grade it? So there's just not a lot of opportunities where it kind of makes sense for me. But at the National, I went over to the SGC booth and I submitted about a dozen cards. And I showed that, just a brief clip of that in I believe it was my third video at the National. Well, those cards are back. And to say that the results are interesting, it was interesting. It was interesting. Now, let me just start by saying the grades don't really matter. The cards, most of the cards that I submitted were some of my Pirate 1888 Allen Ginter N19 Pirates of the Spanish Main cards, and those cards just existing is great. See, most of those cards in PSA holders, the total universal pop, if you include, let me back up. The PSA population of most of those cards is between 15 and 20. There are a couple that have like 23 or so. Most of the cards in SGC holders, 5, 6. So the universal population of those pirate cards that I've been building the set, there are 50 of them. The universal population report of each of the cards is right around 25. So that's what makes completing that set so incredible. Now, there are a lot of 1888 Allen Ginter sets and 1887 Allen Ginter sets, but this one's really rare. I started collecting them because I think they're beautiful, not because they're particularly rare, but I did have a handful, more than a handful, that were ungraded that I just wanted to get authenticated, even though I could tell they were real, and slabbed, and the grades were just kind of like, whatever happens is fine. So, in addition to that, I had 3 or 4 other non-sport cards, and then I had a couple of baseball cards, a T205 Clark Griffith, which was a gift from my buddy Carl from Australia. I had an Ernie Banks card in there. I had a few different things in there. Okay, I know, I'm going on and on. Here I go. Let's take a look at how this went, and let's just say when the package arrived at the door, it's not what I was expecting. When the package arrived, the mail carrier was there and showed me this box, which was covered in tape, talking about how the box was damaged. If you had told me that this box was thrown out the window on the highway and then later recovered, I would have believed you. So, having some of my fairly rare pirate cards inside, I was a little nervous, but I held on to some faith. And here's a reminder of one of the cards. This is a chocolate card of Thomas Edison. And there it is. And I immediately, in addition to seeing the one, saw the crack. So this card was damaged, I'm guessing, from when they threw the box out of the plane. Take a closer look at it. You can see the chocolate stain on the back. So it's really a beautiful card, but that is definitely damaged. So I'm going to have to let SGC know and have that reslabbed. But this is just a cool card, just the fact that it exists. You can see the stain on the back. Looks like chocolate stain, actually, if we're being honest. So that received a 1, as is expected. The population on that is 1. Total pop of that card is 2. Next up, this was a double. This is a look at it right before I submitted it at the National. We knew this would get a 1 because of the paper loss, and it got the 1. The front is fantastic. The back, though, has this paper loss, as you can see there. So this card is going to be listed and sold. And you can see here the population of that grade is a 2. Total pop 6 in SGC. Next one that I submitted is this. This is actually a pretty decent one. This John Gow here. And I thought this one would do better than a 1. So we take a look. And this one received a 3, which is a pretty good grade in these cards. Any card from the 1800s getting a 3 is pretty nice. So was thrilled that this card received the 3. No, was I thrilled? I don't know. I didn't really care. But it was nice, I suppose. If we look at the pop of this one, there are 3 3s. And then there's a 5.5. So it's the second highest in SGC. Now, this card I bought raw as well, obviously. And this is Anne Bonny, one of the 2 female pirates. I thought it looked really nice. And when it showed up, it got authentic altered, but didn't say how it was altered. Nothing about it being trimmed. There's no color added. So I don't know how it's altered. It was full size. So this was a little bit of a bummer. I was hoping this card might get a 3 or so. And it's one of the more important cards in the set because it's one of the 2 female pirates. So this was a little bit of a let-off, but again, it didn't really matter as long as it got slabbed and authenticated. That was the key. There's my authentic one up at the top there. And the total pop on this card is 7 in SGC holders. And we got this one. Several of the remaining ones I knew were not going to do that great because there was some staining on them. So this one here got a 2. To me, anything above a 1.5 is a win with these cards. Beautiful image there. And again, flip it at the back. There's a little staining at the bottom you can see. If it wasn't for that staining, it probably would have done better. But it doesn't really matter. I'll take that 2. And here's the pop report on that one. There's 1, 2, a couple of 3s, and a 5.5. This was one of the final 2 cards that I needed for the set that I acquired in that trade from my buddy David. And knew that this was going to probably get like a 1 or something, maybe a 2. And it got the 2.5. A little bit of staining again on the back, but the front of it looks really good. So 2.5 was nice, I guess. Again, it has some tobacco juice or something on it. But thrilled to have that one all slabbed up. And its new coffin, its new SGC coffin to add with the others. Now, if we look at this one's pop report, you can see my 2.5 there. And there's a 1.5. So second highest in an SGC holder. Now, this was the last card I needed. I think it was number 2 in the set. Lots of damage to it. Knew that this card would be getting a 1 or an authentic. And again, got this in the trade from my buddy David, and I got the 1. At some point, if I see a nicer one, I'd probably try to upgrade this one just because some of the staining's on the front. If the staining and paper loss was only on the back, I probably wouldn't care. But at some point, I'll try to probably upgrade this one. If you look, you can see my 1, along with a 2, a 3, and a couple of 4s. So again, a pop of 5 on that card in SGC holders. These things are rare, guys. This one had staining, so I was hoping for a 1 and not an authentic. And again, lots of staining top and bottom on this one. And it received the 1, which is cool. Again, as long as it got the authentic, it was the key. And again, I knew that these were all going to be coming back authentic. So, again, another rare card. All these total pop, universal pops, around 25 or so. So, not many in SGC sleps. Now, this is a cool card. This Zeppelin aircraft card is pretty hard to find. Airplane series. I got this in Strongsville. There's obviously paper loss, so assume this would get a 1. Not many of these floating around. You can find them occasionally, and it got the 1. Kind of feels like it was put in upside down, but whatever. I guess right side up on the back is the key. So beautiful card, though. It had that paper loss on the back, and then it has a crease on the front. And this is the first one that's ever been graded by SGC. Pop 1 on that card. Then I got this USS Constitution Old Ironsides card. Really nice, actually. Well-centered. It's got a clean back. So I was hopeful on this card. And it came back as a 3. Look at how beautiful that card is. That came back as a 3. Probably going to list this card. There's just other things that are higher priorities, but it is a beautiful card. An old card of an important ship in our country's history. American Tobacco Company. I don't know. It's just beautiful. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it. I don't know. Total population on this card, there are 2. There's one is a 1, and then mine, the 3. So it's the highest grade in an SGC holder. All right, now we've got the Clark Griffith, the T205. There's a little bit of something at the top left there. It looks like fading or maybe paper loss, so I wasn't sure what that would do to it. It's a beautiful front. Love this card, a Yankee captain, which I collect. And this received the 3. I mean, look how beautiful that card is. Those T205s are awesome. So this is a nice one that will fit in well with the rest of my Yankee Captain collection. The first ever Yankee Captain, actually. And then last but not least, this 1956 Ernie Banks. Really pretty sharp, well-centered. I thought this one had a chance at like a 6 or something. And it came back as a 5.5. So beautiful card of one of my favorites of all time. His third card, obviously his rookie being in the 54 top set. So I'm thrilled with this one. This is a grayback. Really cool card. Really, I mean, overall, the submission was great. I do have to deal with the one card that got the crack from the shipping incident. But all in all, I'm pretty okay with how this went. And this completes the Pirates set, my friends. This is the entire run of the 50 cards in the N19 set. Now, I can tell you this. When you have a population of 20 to 25 in most of these cards, in all holders, there aren't a lot of complete sets. My average grade on this set is 3.25, which I think is really high for a set. That's the key card right there, the Blackbeard. That one's in a PSA 2. Looks better than that to me. But there are not, and that's giving that Anne Bonny a 0 grade for the authentic. 3.25 being the average. Again, one of very few, I have to assume, complete sets. And there it is, all in one place. Freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. Finally, all 50 reunited, all together, same place, same time. I'm pumped.